exploratory studies as far as modeling, tracking the aircraft operations, and doing some plume modeling. I'm
sorry. One thing I'd sort of like to clarify from my own perspective is that this was an EPA grant that was sort of set up, and you dealt with that as it was established and the rules of that. I know you spoke about that at the Airport Commission meeting, and you were guided by that. I'm curious that if you had your way, what kind of a setup would you know, and if you had $10 million to throw at it, what would you do to capture the picture of this problem?
Is that directed?
Yes.
Okay. I think if you had unlimited money, you do a combination of all the things that have been mentioned up here. I mean, you do the monitoring, but you can't monitor in everyone's backyard. There's no amount of money that can do that. So the monitoring serves as a ground truthing to some of the models that could be conducted. Unfortunately, some of the models require accurate emissions data from the aircraft over their different operations, and a lot of that is very hard to come by. There have been some other studies done recently looking at larger aircraft, unfortunately, but talking about exactly what comes out of the engine exhaust and what you might expect and how much, relating that to the smaller jets may be difficult. So maybe you have to do a little bit more work on characterizing the emissions from these aircraft. So emissions characterization is important, tracking activity, and then doing some modeling to see what you'd expect the gradients in the community are, doing some actual air monitoring to make sure that those models are making sense and are accurate, as well as, I mean, talking unlimited money, then we could get into some of the health risk assessment surveys, other types of epidemiology work.
Right. Okay. I know that AQMD did support the AB 700, Ted Lieu's AB 700, to get the data necessary to do more modeling studies, and also to put together the technical advisory committee, and I thank you for that. I think, unless I had some other questions, but I would like to move forward, and I'm sure the councilman would like to give the community the chance to ask some questions and make some comments.
You know, first, let's give them a round of applause. You know, and Marty Rubin, who asked the questions, has been an intimate member of the panel, and frankly has kept the energy going on this panel so that we could get the kind of professional support which is critical for us as a community to have. And I got to thank you, panelists, because you're honest and you're thorough, and you admit what we need to do and what we haven't done and what we've already done already. That is really great service to us, and we need to find a way to get more of that data. That's where the Assemblyman and his coalition is going to help in both the state Senate and the Assembly. I know they have a budget crisis, and we have to figure out how do we do what we need to do to get us the real answers, and how do we get it with the constraints of the budget situation. But just the sheer data that you guys have developed, the meetings you've held, the leadership, Marty, that you have continuously created with this panel is hugely important and significant in where we're at. So once again, give them a round of applause, okay? Now what I'd like to do is ask those citizens who live in the neighborhood of the airport to line up behind that mic right now, and Channel 35 will cover you, and say from the heart whatever you feel you must say to be the testimony of community people. Some of the people that I urge to come up, I see one of them coming up right now with his packet in his hand. I'd like him to be the first speaker, as you can, not you, but come on over, sir. Yes, you know, the third man there. Get to the mic first, okay? And then where's the gentleman in the back right now? I want you to come up second. Get right behind him. That's you. No, you're looking at him. I'm looking at you. Yeah. No, you. Yes. No. The young man. Yes. You come up there.
Oliver.
And Oliver, right behind you, the gentleman who got excited. Okay? You come up too. But I want these two to go first, and you'll hear why I've asked them to come first. Go for it. Tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Brad Calloway. I'm the gentleman that Marty was speaking about, having moved away from the area. I moved into the valley a few months ago specifically to make sure that my 1-year-old son wasn't exposed to these chemicals on a daily basis. We lived about 1,000 feet away from the runway, and on a daily basis, experts, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the list of chemicals that they would so nicely give to us in our house. Alkyl benzyne hydrocarbons, carbon monoxide, nitrous oxide, sulfur dioxide, zinc, copper, beryllium, cobalt, vanadium, benzene, butadiene, formaldehyde, alkali phenol, sulfonic acid, kerosene, xylene, methylalanine, if that's how you say it, nonene, toluene, hexane, and lead. Did I miss anything? Okay, you know, as a little aside, did you guys know that every jet fuel truck that goes and delivers jet fuel at Santa Monica Airport has this little hazardous material placard on the side of it with the number 1863 attached to it? What this is a number that was created by the United Nations to sort of tell people, you know, on an international basis that you're in the presence of something that's dangerous or hazardous, okay? Why on earth would anyone think it's conscionable to combust, aerosolize, and spew something labeled as hazardous into the homes of children and elderly people? I don't think anyone who's honest with himself in this room thinks that this is a good idea. You know, in all due respect to the experts here, I personally don't think we need studies to say, see, I told you so, you know, this is bad stuff, or to say, see, this is the level of bad stuff. We already know it's bad stuff. It's written right there on the truck. There's a big sign that says it's hazardous material. You know, unfortunately, this is a zero-sum game. Somebody's going to win, someone's going to lose. And Los Angeles and Santa Monica, in my opinion, have only 3 choices. One, that's to continue to put off the inevitable and sanction further studies and impact reports that's going to tell us something that we already know. 2, they could condemn houses and destroy communities that have been there for over 50 years at a cost of probably around $300 million. Or 3, they could simply enact a strictly and narrowly tailored noise ordinance that allows aircraft which exceed a certain decibel range to allow them to land perhaps 2, 3, 4 days a year, or for emergencies. That way the good planes can stay, the residents can stay, and the jets, well, as our governor says, hasta la vista. Thank you.
My name is Oliver Grudeman. I don't have anything prepared, but like the gentleman before me, I'm also a father, a young father.
Closer to the mic.
Oh, sorry.
And look at the camera over here, too.
I'm also a young father of late, a premature baby, and I'm not aware of the studies or exactly what we're breathing. I smell it, and I think, you know, I hear studies about people living in heavily congested and polluted areas, that there are higher risks. There's a lot of children with asthma and the like. And this is something that I don't want my child to be subjected to. So I don't think whatever the studies may show over this extended period of time, I don't think I can risk waiting to find out, you know, what comes of it when the health is at risk. So. For my family, and we've been living there 10 years or more, and it's been increasingly getting worse. 10 years ago, there were just propeller machines. No one thought of anything. Really, there were just a few jets, and it was not as bad as it is today. So I think for us, you know, we don't have any other alternative but to move away, as unfortunate as it is. But, you know, it doesn't look like there's going to be any short-term solution to this dilemma. So, and I'd like to commend Marty's excellent work, and also Bill Rosendahl for this, you know, trying to do whatever we can politically and any other way to help the situation, but it doesn't look like it's a long uphill battle. So, thank you.
Well, we want to thank you because you were there in the demonstration. Your wife was pregnant at the time. You were both very concerned. You were closing your windows. You were worried about what might happen. You had a premature
windows.
Yeah, and you had a premature birth,
Right.
and obviously